Welcome back to Academy USA, home of the AABA Pro-Am Basketball League. Semi-final action, first match. Aragats going home, Operon moving on to the championship as anticipated in what was a Goliath against the Goliath match. Here, Academy USA, the very home team, will be playing Hrazdan. Hrazdan coming off a historic win against their competitors last week. Ron Coleman bringing it up for Hrazdan wearing green. Starting five for the Hrazdan is number 32, JT Terrell, number 9, Andre Zarabian, number 22, Ron Coleman, number 45, Narbe Ibrahimian, and number 1, Tevan Khudatian. And with me today, I have Joe Babikian. Joe, thank you for being with me.
Rich, I would have missed this for the world. AABA semifinals, the atmosphere is crazy in here, and we just saw the ending of one of the best AABA games I've ever watched. And I am sure that this game will follow in that footsteps.
Truly, as JT Terrell launches from afar, and the former LA Flash, former USC, former Wake Forest, former insert professional team that has gone far. JT Terrell shoots from afar. Kashishian brings it up, has it to Heligar. Gets a screen from Alex Smith. Alex Smith, lethal shooter from afar, already knocks it down. And we have ourselves a ball game here, Joe, already the second match today. Something to keep in mind of Joe this week is Tevan Khudatian is coming off a rolled ankle from last week. His father is a doctor, no stranger to family medicine. Maybe he figured something out by that time as we get a foul. Andre Zarabian going for a free throw line.
Rich, last week it didn't look like he even had a rolled ankle, given that he still dropped, 41 points?
41 points off
on
a
one
rolled
leg?
ankle. Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's feeling good today. He's got both feet under him, and let's see what kind of performance he's going to have today.
Zarabian knocks down the first. Andre Zarabian, part of that infamous 2022 FIBA championship team of the Armenian national team. He was a part of that team under Rex Kalamian. Rex Kalamian, the head coach of the Armenian national team. And a lot of players out of that circle. Gabriel Ajemian, Andre Spite McGurchian, Andre Zarabian, to name a few. As Kashishian takes it all the way above Zarabian, and it goes in without even a backboard needed in sight. Wow, Kashishian, one of the players that knows how to play make. And Kashishian, and it's an offensive foul. Great selling in what was usually Tevan Khudatian's role. Kashishian says, I've studied your game tape. I'm too familiar with your game.
Rich, it's been a crazy 2-minute start to this game. You could tell that these teams are very familiar with each other. There was no feeling out process. They just jumped into where they ended it last time during the season and just picking up from where they left off, you know?
Narbe Ibrahimian, known for his defensive prowess against Heligar, but Heligar says, don't worry, I can shoot over you. JT Terrell now goes against the young bull, the high school phenom out of Pilibos School. JT finds a guy in the corner, shoots it, no good. Rebound, Balian, the young bull. Balian loses track of the ball for a little bit, and he goes up so high and above JT Terrell. What a shot by the 16-year-old Anto Balian. Khudatian has the ball on the right-hand side, receives the screen from Ibrahimian. Coleman guarded extensively by Alex Smith. JT Terrell now has it. Balian puts a hand up, nothing else he can do against it. But Coleman with the rebound. Tipped away, Khudatian tips it to Coleman. Coleman goes up, and it's good right above Abkarian. Wow. Already an aggressive game so far, Joe. Anto Balian gets his man in the air, shoots it, it's good. Over to veteran Khudatian.
Also coming off his own player of the game performance last week, Rich. I believe he had 31 of himself last week, right?
He did, and Khudatian. It's almost like he never even had any issues with that ankle. I believe it was his left ankle, if I'm not mistaken. And JT Terrell not in position to get an offensive call there. He's going to pick up his first foul. As you can see in your instant replay, Anto Balian getting that ball high and above Ibrahimian and Terrell. And Joe, we talked about Academy USA being one of those stacked teams. They got only 2 on their bench today. Usually they're normal to at least 4 players on the bench, while Hrazdan usually with 5 or 6 has 7. An even matchup between the two. Rebound by Zarabian after a missed shot by Balian. Narbe Ibrahimian is running with Khudatian. Khudatian has the ball. He goes up, no good. And tipped away by Heligar. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 6:40 left in the game, 13-8. And a quick bucket by Hrazdan once more. Joe, what is going to be that decisive factor for Hrazdan to win this match and get a chance to their 4th consecutive finals appearance?
As much as I would love to see them make history and make the AABA finals 4 times, they got a tough road ahead with Academy USA standing in their way. Consistency is going to be the key, Rich. This team kind of had a rough start throughout the season, but they've been finding their footing lately. But with all players present today, I think they have a good chance to put up a good offensive and defensive fight against this very strong Academy USA team.
And you mentioned a couple of points is consistency. You're going to need at least 30 points from Hrazdan, 30 points from Terrell, and you're going to need that third man, who is Coleman, to drop another 30. Academy USA has been pretty well versed in the balancing of their shooting, but with Hrazdan, we've noticed kind of an imbalance in shooting on a team scale, and really Hrazdan has struggled to be a force of nature, but they've come up big in the second half of the season as Abkarian gets it from Elegar. And we talked about this team effort from Academy USA, Joe. Who is the decisive factor, or shall I say the X factor, for Academy USA today?
I think you got 3 off the bat, Rich. You got former MVP Warren doing his thing, maintaining that same level of intensity that he did during his MVP season a year ago. You got Alex Smith, a lethal shooter from the perimeter. If you don't put a hand up, you know that shot's going in. And of course, the young bull, Anto Balyan, coming off a 30-point game himself. I think he might be the biggest X factor in this game, because as the youngest player, he's kind of unaccounted for in terms of what he could actually be able to bring to this game, you know?
Zarabian with the deep 2, had a foot on the line, but Hrazdan found him there. And Joe, you're very right on the dot. This Academy team, its staff, has lots of potential. The young bull himself has been granted, shall I say, a lot of freedom by a lot of the dudes on the team, Warren Helliger being one of them, as Abkarian unable to score on the easy opportunity there. Hrazdan straight to Bali, and he goes up, Terrell goes up, lots of body, no calls on either side. Referees keeping it consistent. Ibrahimian goes up, no good. Balian with the rebound. And note, the other Balian is not available today, Joe. Usually Kevork Balian gets a few minutes himself.
Unfortunately, we're not going to see the Balian duo out there today, but fully confident that Anto is able to put up a good performance no matter what.
And Helligar with an opportunity there, Joe. Helligar had an opportunity to go up, and he did. Samson and Jagulian from the bench yelling, that's a carry. And Terrell gets the bank shot. Terrell wanted a call there. Already a lot of yapping with the refs.
Very beautiful high arcing shot, Rich. I love seeing that go in.
Helligar. Kashishian goes up. It's good. Kashishian thought he got fouled, but no call. Hrazdan brings it on the right-hand side. Down to the corner is Ibrahimian. Zarabian cuts through. Ibrahimian shoots beforehand. Helligar now puts on the Jets. Helligar gets tipped away. Terrell saves it in the nick of time. Hrazdan has it now. Zarabian to his right, Coleman to his left. He goes up. Shots goes no good. And Kashishian making a case. And Joe, it seems like after every play there's a conversation of some sorts. But as you can see in your instant replay, JT Terrell is going to have to get a lot of shots other than that one there. He's 2 of 5 already. He's been aggressive, but you haven't really seen him get down to the lane. Hrazdan, on the other hand, pretty normal. 2 of 3. He's staying aggressive. But again, who's going to be that third guy? Is it going to be Zarabian or is it going to be Ron Coleman? Only time will tell.
Rich, funny you mention it, because Tevon, JT, and Ron Coleman are each in the top 5 for scoring this year, each with 30 points to their name, you know?
Kashishian, no, you mentioned it. Each of their names are in the top 5 of the top scoring chart here in the AABA this season. But consistency, like you mentioned, Joe, consistency is going to be very key here. And Hrazdan offense has not really had its opportunity and flow. Of course, they have a couple of seasons of experience with one another, but I'd like to see more fluidity in the near time, and a travel called by the referee on JT Terrell. Terrell doesn't see it, nor did he felt it, but the game is emotionless. Heligar looks to get a screen from Smith. Great defense by Abrahamian, the San Diego State University walk-on. Alex Smith goes all the way. And Alex Smith, the Bethesda University graduate, goes up so effortlessly. And Joe, he's known from beyond the arc, but he can really score down the paint too.
Just like that.
Ooh. Samson and Jagulian yelling out loud. He said, put him in a pick and roll every time. Put him in a two-man game. Watch him fly. And, you know, Heligar wants the same thing on the other end. He wants to smoke. Heligar finds Smith. Smith could have had an opportunity to shoot. He doesn't, but he does there. And it goes no good. Rebounding attempt by Kashishin. He's all over the glass. Khodatian has 2 opportunities to pass. He chooses Terrell. Terrell goes up. It's good for JT Terrell. He knocks down his 12th point of the match.
JT Terrell knocking down his last 3 three-point shots, Rich.
He's 4 of 7 from the field today, Joe. Something we're used to. Something the TBL is used to. Something the state of North Carolina is used to. But Anto Balian, he knocks down his first 3-point of the game. Something he's used to in the area. Abrahamian gets the rebound, gets Heligar in the air. No good. He's going to get free throws nonetheless.
Anto just proven to these veterans, Rich, that anything you could do, I could also do. Or wait, the saying is anything you could do, I could do better. There you go.
But Balian says anything you could do, I can do it for now. Then I'll probably get better. Just give me 3 moments of opportunity to try it out. Because he's a sponge. He really is one of those players that is attentive to detail. And I've had the absolute privilege to train him in some opportunities here at Academy USA. And Anto is one of those guys that asks a lot of questions. What was this like during your time? And what was this like during your time? And he's a sponge. He really learns it. And by the way, his favorite music is an artist, Eminem. So that should tell you everything. He learns from the past. And Jair Winfrey gets his first opportunity at the bucket. On the first possession, he gets a bucket already. Kashishin with the assist. 55 seconds left to go in the first quarter, 28-22. It's been all Academy here in the first half. Khodatian gets the ball. Khodatian has Terrell in the corner, thinks about it, finds Jagulian instead. Abrahamian now has it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Abrahamian shoots it, no good. Rebound, Balian. Balian has Apgarian running with him. Kashishin trailing. Balian thinks about it, guarded by Terrell. Balian shoots, no good. Rebound, Winfrey. 14 on the shot clock. And an offensive foul called on Jair Winfrey.
You can't forget about Jair, Rich. Any point in the game, he could take over and he could just dominate the inside.
The former Aragats member decided to make changes and show up to Academy USA, where the ball club already stacked needed some severe help. Excuse me, or shall I say he offered severe help. And Aragats truly, they made their own changes that worked out to the benefit of them. So both sides really won there, Joe, as Aragats came shorthanded in the semifinals that they were up for the majority of the game. And approximately 1 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, and Tevan Khodatian gets the bucket. He thought he was fouled, but no call by the ref. Morrissey's going to let it fly, and no. We'll be back with more. Scores 28-24. Academy USA is up by 4. We'll be back. And we're back at Academy USA, home of the AABA semifinals. The playoffs have been such a treat for us, Joe. Your commentators today, Rich Elmoyan here, along with my partner and producer of this, Joe Babikian. And Joe, so far leading scorers for Academy USA has been the youngest member of the AABA, Anto Balian, with 9 points. But Coco Kashishin gets his 6th point of the game. Meanwhile, on the other end, you have Hrazdan's JT Terrell with 12 and Tevan Huratian with 6. Huratian finds Injagulian. Injagulian drives towards Ebrahimian. Doesn't get the cut he was looking for. Huratian now with 8 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to have to make a move against Morrissey. He goes up. Lots of contact. No call. Anto Balian takes it the other way. Balian now seen by Terrell. Back to Apgarian. No good. Injagulian thinks about the football pass. And Ebrahimian to Coleman. Coleman goes up, and it's good for the University of Michigan alumnus.
Coleman, last year's finals MVP, wants the chance to go back and repeat his accomplishment, right, Rich?
Dare I say an Iguodala similar situation, or as a lot of the AABA players were asking, they were like, was this kind of an Andre Iguodala situation? I said, well, Andre Iguodala deserved it, therefore yes. Terrell now with the ball, guarded by Kashishin. He's been face guarded basically for the entire second quarter so far. Terrell goes up, no good. Rebound tipped around by green jerseys. A yellow and red one catches it. Tevan Huratian goes after it, of course. Finds Terrell. Terrell goes up, lots of hang time. It's good for JT Terrell, a bona fide scorer, Joe, and already galvanizing a lot of eyes in the AABA league. We're already seeing a lot of interest in the TBL, watching him in the AABA. Now he's back after a stint with the LA Flash, and Aval going up for Jair Winfrey.
He's saying it doesn't matter if you guys guard me on three-point line, I'll still take it to the inside.
That's what he's saying. I mean, as you can see in your instant replay, the amount of hang time he had there is kind of reminiscent of that one Kyrie Irving play with the Dallas Mavericks. And Joe, we have seen a lot of great basketball today. We saw Argots come up on top for quite some time. They even had an 18-point lead in the second quarter. Operon had never even been down by more than 8 points in AABA this season. Now, if it's last season, it's a different scenario. But this season, Operon has been unbeatable, literally through its record. They are now 7-0 in this season, counting the playoffs. Joe, what's going to take for Operon to get toppled? I mean, if you're Hrazdan right now, a little too early to think. But if you're continuing on with thinking what's ahead of you, any team really, what are you doing to stop Operon?
I think Argots had a great approach in the first half where they kind of did something differently and they put Ian Francis, the center for Argots, to guard Vernon Teal. Kind of like a big man versus big man matchup, which we haven't kind of seen this season. But Operon came in with their own adjustments in the second half, which kind of pushed them towards the victory once the game was done, you know?
Now, you mentioned that both Academy USA and Hrazdan, we mentioned, don't have much of a bench going on, but we mentioned the two guys, Zorabi and Huratian, but now you got Armin Zatikian on their sideline as well. You got a little bit more depth if you're Hrazdan, and you got to like your chances in this game.
Well, compared to the three-player lineup we saw in the fourth quarter of the last week, Rich, I like these odds a lot better.
Coleman with the three over Winfrey. Shoots it from afar. Coleman already feeling it. Ron Coleman now has his 7th point. Oh, and Kashishian knocks down the three here in the second quarter. 33-31. Terrell brings it the other way. Guarded by Kashishian. Terrell, oh, what a nifty behind the back. He goes up, no good, and misses it. But nonetheless, what a reel that we can gather from that play. Abkarian goes up, it's good. What a pass by Balian, finding the needle to thread. Man, oh man, what a game it's been so far. Academy USA up 35-31. Relatively quiet game, not many whistles, and Anto Balian, what a young mistake to make there.
Yeah, as you said, Rich, those are kind of like the mistakes that as you progress in your career, you'll avoid those. But you know, he's got the bunnies, so he wants to get up there and try to knock it out.
Hey, if you got the bunnies, you got to hop. Kashishian brings it down on the right-hand side. Hrazdan back in the game for Hrazdan. And Andreas Barosian is now available playing. And no, Joe, Andreas Barosian last game was one of those decisive factors towards the end of the game that really made the difference with a couple of three-pointers. He's in the game now, looking to make some kind of effort from the beginning. Terrell, he's having an angle, takes it up, got the body contact there, and he's going to go up for 2.
Rich, Andreas is more of one of the unsung heroes of this Hrazdan team. Always shows up, ready to bring it, very consistent from beyond the arc. And I think he was a huge factor in their championship run last year, and he's a big factor in them maintaining their current status in the playoffs.
And he was one of the players that was personally affected by the power rankings early on at number 8. Came up to me and said, hey, who puts up those rankings? And I said, the media, you know, and also a lot of coaches are yapping around the league, and they didn't really see much from Hrazdan this year, and I think they have performed pretty well in playoffs to really change the mind of many doubters.
Yeah, they took down number 2 ranked Armenians.
And before we can continue that chat, Joe, we're going to have to take a brief break. 35-33, Hrazdan's back up. We'll be back with more. And we're back at Academy USA, home of the AABA playoffs. JT Terrell in the zone, liking the music, playing here at AABA. Taking it out is Academy USA, 15 on the shot clock. Kashishian to Balian. Balian finds Alex Smith. Alex Smith, a lethal shooter. Injagulian recognizes and respects it. Balian, oh, what a pass to Abgarian. Shot, no good. But a rebound attempt by Academy USA gets into the hands of green jerseys. Hrazdan shoots it. It's good by JT Terrell. What an opportunity for Terrell. Getting a shot off again. The lead scorer today on both ends, JT Terrell with 16. Heligar goes up. Oh, what a tough shot. Warren Heligar, the former Burroughs high school graduate, moved on to play Division I basketball. Heligar guarding Terrell. Terrell to Hrazdan. Hrazdan thinks about it. Finds himself into a sea of yellow jerseys. And he's going to have to shoot it now. 3 seconds, 2, and Heligar steals it just in time. And that's not going to be a clear path foul, Joe. And the call is going to be just a takeout from the sideline. Smart foul by JT Terrell.
Of course, him and Warren chatting away. They're very familiar with each other, versing each other a year ago in the 2022 fall season finals.
Oh yeah, that's a matchup for the ages. Back when Warren Helligar was on the Armenians, seems like forever ago. Back when Andre Zarabian and Helligar were on the same team.
Right.
Terrell now has it on the left-hand side. He lets it fly from deep, no good. Rebound, Abkarian, but now in the hands of Zarabian. Khodatian swings to Njagulian. Njagulian, not really an offensive playmaker, but Boghosian is. Njagulian with the assist. What a turn of events. 40 points to 37. Hrazdan still down. Hrazdan has the lead by 3. Academy still down. Warren Helliger has Smith in the corner. Gets a shot off. And a foul on the floor. Samson Njagulian says, don't worry, that's on me. Kashishian inbounds it. Abkarian wants it down low. Balian has it in the corner. Balian goes up, and it's good. The high school phenom. And Joe, not frequently does the AABA allow high school players, but this year they allowed 2. You had Nick Altunian, part of the Gyumri City team that you're a part of, and great shot by Khodatian, and Anto Balian, both being exceptions. So what do you gotta say about the 2 whenever you kind of look at their game?
I think the exceptions were definitely good for the league, Rich. You get to see what the next generation is going to bring. And for both cases, they kind of showed what the intense level of intensity that they're able to showcase. And for Anto's case specifically, this deep playoff run, that's definitely like attributed to his performance, right?
Boghosian goes up for the shot. No good. Rebound, Balian. JT Terrell chirping with his own team saying, I need the ball. And Khodatian says, don't worry, I'll get it right back. Khodatian goes up, miss. And a rebound by Helliger. Finds Kashishian. Kashishian lets it fly. No good. Rebound effort by Alex Smith. Goes into the hands of Khodatian. And he's going to go all the way. And he goes up. No good. Khodatian, it seems like he doesn't have the same spark as last week. And a and one play by Kashishian. And Hrazdan not happy with the turn of events. You're only down by 1. You have to understand that even though you are not playing up to the level that you're used to at least, it doesn't mean you get to stop at the other end. And as we can see, scores now 42-41. Close to 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Confusion on the floor. Only one shot coming in the way of Academy USA. Can they get this three-point conversion?
Rich, great start from Coco Kashishian, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Kashishian has been showing up today. He has 12 points for Academy USA, the leading scorer for Academy USA. And dare I say, Kashishian scoring 11, Balian scoring 11, and Helligar scoring 6 has already opened up a diverse scoring feed. And we're still waiting on Ebrahimian to really get his offensive campaign going today. But usually he's more noteworthy on the defensive end. Abkarian goes up. No good. Coleman finds Ebrahimian. Ebrahimian doesn't look at the rim, but does to Coleman. Finds Zarabian. Zarabian, that's his spot to flourish. Ron Coleman thinks about it. Finds Ebrahimian. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ebrahimian goes up. No good from Midi. Ebrahimian finds a guy in the corner. Thinks about it. Zarabian almost traveled there. Njagulian's going to get an opportunity. He shoots it, no good. And Academy USA walks it up the other end. Close to a minute left in the first half. Already a much faster game than the first one. And a timeout called by head coach Carlo Hunanian for Academy USA. We'll be back with more. Minute left here in the first half. Scores 42 apiece here at Academy USA in our second match of our doubleheader. Kashishian finds Alex Smith right out of the inbound play, but rebound by Coleman. Ebrahimian goes all the way, finds Bogosian. Bogosian, he's going to shoot. That's his range. Got to reckon with it, and he makes it. Joe, we talked about Andreas Bogosian being the X factor of the last match for Hrazdan, and seems like he hurt us from afar.
Well, he's doing what they need him to do, Rich. He comes off the bench, 2 of 2 from 3, maintaining the same intensity they need to win this game.
Lots of contact there for the hustle of the play. Antobalian travels in the action. It seems like Antobalian was a little too excited to go up for a dunk. When he sees it, he sees it.
A lot of basketball left, Rich. Won't be surprised if he'll throw it down 1 or 2 more times.
Substitutions checking in is JT Terrell. Zarabian takes it out. Ebrahimian brings it up. JT Terrell gets a screen by Coleman, or at least he's waiting for one. Ebrahimian gets it is Terrell. Terrell now guarded by Heligar. Quite the matchup here, Joe. Oh, what a tough pass by Terrell to Bogosian. And Terrell knew the error he made was costly on that possession. But Academy now has an opportunity to roll the ball and save some time. Smart move by Balian. Heligar has an opportunity. This is what he works with on Coach Viken Eskidjan every day. And a foul. Easy call by the referee.
That's not the type of call you want to get, Rich, with only 0.9 seconds left on the clock for the second quarter.
Narbe Ebrahimian says the foul was afterwards, and a challenge is going to be made by Hrazdan. And the referee's going to have an opportunity to look at the play. The argument made by Narbe Ebrahimian is that the foul was away from him and actually against him. And the call stands. And Hrazdan is in disbelief. Maybe after the game, if they check it out themselves, they'll kind of understand that there's no conclusive evidence there, Joe. It's only in the term of conclusive evidence where it's made.
I believe they need enough evidence to overturn the call, correct?
Yeah, they need conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence, yes.
To overturn that call. Samson and Jagolian making his case, probably heard on the feed. It's really hard to miss his voice. Sounding like the uncle at the park. I can say that. He was like an uncle to me when I was in middle school. Warren Heligar knocks down the first. Heligar gets another opportunity at the rim. And we're headed to halftime. Scores 44-45. Hrazdan up by 1. We'll be back with more in the third quarter. And we're back at Academy USA, where the home team, Academy USA, is playing Hrazdan. Your commentators here, Rich Almoyne, alongside with Joe Babikin. Joe, we've had quite the intense match, similar to our first game today between Aparan and you name it. Excuse me, oh my God, Aparan and Aragats. I was about to say Hrazdan. So many Armenian names in front of me. Jeez. Well, for Hrazdan, it's been pretty even matchup so far. They look more frustrated than the score shows, that's for sure, Joe. What is Hrazdan going to have to do to pick it up? And then we'll ask the same thing for Academy as well.
Well, they got to show that defensive consistency. Make sure you put a hand up whenever former MVP Warren takes a shot. And, of course, be cautious of where Antobayan is on the court. He could be everywhere all at once. That's what the youth energy could bring in. So just make sure you're consistent on defense. And get the ball to JT Terrell, because he's got the hot hand coming into this game.
And for the gentleman wearing the yellow and red, what do they got to do to win this game?
Play defense against JT Terrell.
Is that a jump ball call? I believe a jump ball called in the action. Yeah, that was a jump ball call, Joe.
Rich, we mentioned it earlier. These two teams are very familiar with each other. They're coming out of the same group in the regular season. They versed each other once before a few weeks ago. Academy USA pulled off the 10-point victory. But this is a different Hrazdan squad, right?
No, 100%. This Hrazdan team is missing Narek Langurian. They're missing Andre Spite, Austin Pope from last year. A lot of players that are no longer around or available to roster eligibility. And Ron Coleman is going to go up for 2 free throws. And Ron Coleman, one of the top 5 scorers in this league, Joe. And he's really made a name of himself in this league over time with Coach Ara Jajayan. And, of course, we've mentioned it in the past, Coach Ara Jajayan faced a lot of criticism this year with his record. They went 0-3 in the beginning of the year after coming off that championship season last year. But like they say, Joe, oftentimes you forget what's at stake. And with Hrazdan has 3 championships under its belt, maybe they had fallen out of touch with the competitiveness here, and they finally got a grasp of it again.
I don't know. I kind of look at Coach Jajan as like the Greg Popovich of this league, you know?
I see him as the Colangelo.
That one's a good comparison, too.
I believe Jajan is a better manager than he is a coach. I will say that. As Alex Smith knocks down the 3 from afar, something he's known for, at least on this side of the world.
Well, if you look at each of his championship rosters, Rich, they're quite different from one another.
For Jajan?
Yeah, for Jajan. Each of his championship rosters, definitely there's some core elements in there like Tevon, but kind of different players when you look at it. And that kind of alludes to the great coaching that he's able to bring into this league.
I agree with you on that one. Got to bring some talent and have some talent as a coach as well. As Alex Smith knocks down 2 3-pointers in a row for Academy USA. And Alex Smith has brought some life to this Academy USA team, who is now up by 4. Terrell guarded by Balian. Terrell goes up, lots of contact, no call. And Terrell not happy with the call. Coleman knocks it down nonetheless. And continues on. Are the Academy USA the other way, not letting defense get to it. And a foul on JT Terrell. And Anto Balian got the shorter end of the stick there.
That's what's awesome about this Academy USA team, Rich. Anto Balian had that very explosive first half. He's kind of just starting to get his footing again in the second half. But Alex Smith there to pick it up wherever Academy USA needs it, right?
Koshishian wanted it. He has Injagulian on him. He said, don't worry, Anto, I'll make sure it comes back to you. But I first got to try it on Injagulian. Balian thinks about it, goes up, no good. Already Hrazdan Stevan Khuratian leaking out. Has Coleman running. Coleman thinks about it. He's going to let it fly from NBA range. It's good. Joe, that is the shooting that Ron Coleman adds to any team that he touches.
It's very interesting how similar him and Alex Smith are in their game wise, right?
Yeah, in terms of where they're shooting from, at least.
Yeah, both big men, but both with the ability to shoot beyond the arc, right? And consistently at that too.
And that's been the key word we've been talking about. Consistency. Hrazdan goes up, gets a physical bucket over Anto Balian. Anto Balian didn't like it. Tevan Hrazdan has a couple of words for Anto. The young bull and Hrazdan chatting it up. And a technical called. A technical call by JT Terrell.
Was he on the bench, Rich?
And JT Terrell is on the bench. He's trying to have a chat with the referee. And Hrazdan and Balian on the other end yapping up. And a lot of yapping going on for Academy USA. But excuse me, JT Terrell's not the one that got the technical. It's Academy USA, Joe. Or is it both ways? I'm confused.
Is it a double tap? Rich, now that we talked to the referee, do you want to provide some clarification on what happened there?
Yeah, it seemed what was the case is, or what is the case is Tevan Hrazdan got a free throw out of the and one. The technical was on JT Terrell, therefore two free throws came in possession for Academy USA. Now Academy USA has possession of the ball. Here with 6:52 left to go in the third quarter. Needed some clarification there, Joe. Wasn't getting it. And Kashishian goes up. And man, Coco Kashishian and Joe, I'm going to say this humbly, Kashishian's style of play is very similar. And excuse me.
No.
And JT Terrell gets ejected in the semis. Oh man. Sucked the life out of this room, Joe. JT Terrell not happy with the call. Understandably so. It's the semifinals. Coleman had a few words to say for the camera.
That's unfortunate to see, Rich. JT is one of my favorite players in this league. Of course, their 2022 scoring leader. Hrazdan definitely needed him out there today in order to kind of make that finals push, right? But now it's up to the rest of the team. You also got Tevan and Ron Coleman in the top scorers list. So I think it's up to them now and the rest of the Hrazdan squad to pull this off.
Hrazdan not happy with the call on Terrell either. As Zarabian goes the other way, he's going to try to get something off Balian. And Balian misses the open dunk. 6 minutes left to go, 59-56. Hrazdan down by 3. Shot goes up by Coleman, no good. Rebound Balian. Balian has Smith coming up with him. Balian on the left-hand side. Noteworthy, his brother, Kevin Balian, not in today, not suited up. And Alex Smith with a dagger. Another shot for Academy USA, extending the lead to 6 points. Who else but Alex Smith? 3 of 3 in three-point land in the third quarter. Lucky number 3. Hrazdan wants an angle, finds Zarabian, puts on the line once more. And Zarabian, what could have had 6 points already from beyond the arc, is only 4 due to stepping on the line. Very frustrating for a coach to see, but you're happy that the shots are flowing. 62-58, 5:15 to go. Kashishian with the ball, guarded by Injagulian. He likes this matchup. He's gonna ankle, looks for another one. Heligar goes up, finds Kashishian, puts on the line, shoots it, no good. Rebound to Ibrahimian. Ibrahimian's going to slow it down. Gets a screen from Injagulian, 90 feet away from the basket. Hrazdan on the left-hand side. Heligar on him. Coleman gets a step in, gets a shot. It's good for Ron Coleman. And Ron Coleman seems like he's going to get a lot more touches with JT Terrell out of the game after that ejection, Joe. Heligar Guarded by Injagulian. Injagulian gets out of his way. And the shot does not get the friendly bounce. And Hrazdan walks it up the other way. And a reminder, Hrazdan still coming off that ankle injury. I noticed during halftime he didn't put up a shot. What he did, though, was run up and down, making sure his foot was mobile. Hrazdan to Zarabian. He thinks about it. He's been pretty good today. Coleman guarded heavily by Alex Smith. Alex Smith is super aggressive. Coleman in the shot, no good. Zarabian with the rebound, it's good! Zarabian keeping Hrazdan alive here after JT Terrell's leave of absence. Balian has two jerseys all over him. Kashishian has an opportunity, passes it straight to Abgarian, and Abgarian knocks it down. 64-62, tit for tat. Here we go. Timeout called. 3:35 left to go in the third quarter. We'll be back with more. Score is now 64-62. And we're back at Academy USA. Home team Academy USA Ball Club playing against Hrazdan Basketball Club. Hrazdan, three-time AABA champion, coming off a championship in the spring season, competing in the fall season, looking to get their second consecutive championship and fourth overall. But first, they're going to have to get through a brick wall known as Academy USA.
Rich, has Hrazdan done a repeat before? Back-to-back?
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
So they're looking to do the second back-to-back in AABA history, correct?
Yes, precisely.
But first, they got to get past Academy USA, who's putting up a great fight right now. And, of course, Alex Smith dominating the game.
And an easy call for the referees. The entire Hrazdan yelling that they need that travel. In Jagulian, yapping. They got to be careful, Joe. They've been really chatting a lot, even for the calls that are going for them. Not a great strategy of diplomacy, if you ask me. And I majored in it. Lon Coleman gets Alex Smith in the air. No good. Rebound, Kashishian. Heligar. And a jump ball called before the timeout was called.
Looks like Warren got scratched in the face, Rich.
Heligar not happy with the inaction of the call before the jump ball was called. Hrazdan is arguing that, hey, that was a foul first. Second of all, there's a timeout that I called. No one heard him.
Rich, can we just talk about how fast-paced this game has been?
Yeah, I mean, you got a guy named Telan Hrazdan on the court, and you got a guy named Warren Heligar. Both guys look to get their offense set up before the defense is even breathing. Barosian looks to flare in his motion. Coleman sets, Injagulian sets it on Coleman's guy. Ebrahimian goes up, it's good for Narbre Ebrahimian, the former San Diego State University walk-on, coached by Steve Fisher. Coco Kashishian now has on the left-hand side. Injagulian's giving him space. Might have to regret it. Oh, what a pass to Alex Smith. No good. Zarabian grabs the rebound as Ebrahimian brings it up for Hrazdan. Ebrahimian goes up and gets an and one play in favor. 66-64 now moves on for a 68-64. 1:53 left to go in the third quarter without JT Terrell.
Rich, you mentioned the beginning of this half. Narbe needs to get his touches, and right now, from the last 2 possessions, it's exactly what Hrazdan needs, right?
And we were talking about an imbalance of scoring. Now you got Coleman that's leading, 19. Terrell with 18. No buckets coming from him moving forward. Tevan Khuratian with 11. Zarabian with 7. And Ebrahimian with 7 himself. That's going to be something to highlight towards the end of the game. Who came down to the wire and gave you the buckets you needed the most? Because right now you're going to have to fill in the gap by at least 2 players. And Warren Heligar wide open, as clear as day. Even with my eyesight, I could see it. 1.75 is my eyesight for those that need to know. Negative. Coleman. Guarded by Winfrey. Winfrey gets another opportunity on the court against Coleman. Coleman goes up. Lots of contact, and he's going out for 2 free throws. Both Academy USA members look like they just saw a ghost. Well, it is spooky season, folks. Make sure to check out our finals next week during the last weekend of spooky action. October 28th. Make sure to have subscribed, have your notifications turned on, have your morning coffee on that Saturday morning or wherever you are internationally to stay up if you need.
Rich, one of these teams is going to make it to the AABA finals to verse Aparan. What time could they tune in next week to watch this amazing final conclusion of the 2023 season?
Well, I believe it's at 12 p.m. next week. 12 p.m. next week, finals action continuing. The winner of this match will move on to play against the unbeatable Aparan, going through their first franchise run at the championship. And a bucket scored by Warren Heligar. Again, 2 back-to-back buckets, crucial here in the third quarter. And Jagulian chatting it up, the point guard here for Hrazdan, guarded by Afghan. And what a play by Samson and Jagulian to find Narbe Ebrahimian. Joe, you'll love to see the ball movement. Today we saw it from Aragat. Here we see Hrazdan in the third quarter. Balian thinks about it, guarded by Bagosian. Balian gets it the other way, goes up, no good. Rebound in Jagulian.
Balian pretty quiet this quarter, but he could explode at any time, right, Rich?
Yeah, definitely. He's holding on to that right quad, hoping he's okay. Another screen in action from Ebrahimian. Ebrahimian wants it now. 3-second differential between game clock and the shot clock. Ebrahimian likes his chances in the switch. Gets it to Coleman. He's going to think about it. Lets it fly. No good. Rebound Winfrey. 3 seconds to get a shot off. 2 seconds now. Going to get a shot.
Good attempt, though.
Great clock awareness as well. And we're going to go into a quick timeout. 73-68. We'll be back for the fourth and final quarter before regulation. And we're back here at the AABA Playoffs Fall 2023 season. Semifinals between Hrazdan and Academy USA. Winner of this match will move on to play Aparan that you can see on your screens. Aragats earlier, the first match of our doubleheader today could not seal the deal. Hence Aparan making the lasting championship appearance. And a foul call on Hrazdan's. I'm trying to see who the foul was called. on. And the foul. Yeah, no, we were not sure really what the call is. Once we get a touch of it, we'll let you guys know.
Warren with the ball. Guarded by Narbe. Takes it in. Great pass.
Balian in the corner. He's going to let it fly. No good there, Joe. That's been the name of the game today. And the difference for Academy USA, Anto Balian has not been able to knock down his shots. Abrahamian. Oh, excuse me.
I was going to say, Academy USA find themselves in a unique situation. They have a chance to punch their ticket in for their first ever AABA Finals appearance, but they find themselves down by 5 to defending champions Hrazdan. What do you want to see from them for them to close this out and get their seat in the finals?
For Hrazdan.
Sorry, for Academy.
For Academy, you're going to have to see a lot more from Anto Balian. He has been one of those, I know he's young and there's not much you can really rely on a young guy like that, but when he's playing up and above with the Armenian national team and whatnot, he has the experience to get more shots off. And right now, I don't think Balian is doing enough, as Bogosian's shot's not going to count as it touches anything other than the backboard. But yeah, Academy USA is going to have to come together. Coco Kashishian is going to have to come big here in the end. Something we have seen in the past. Nothing new. Steps out of bounds is Anto Balian, and out we go the other way. And Hrazdan's experience, Hrazdan's experience has been eminent here. Kind of the decisive factor, if I may say so myself.
That's what's amazing about this squad, Rich. Very experienced. As you mentioned, they could get their fourth in a row appearance to the AABA Finals. So they have the experience to kind of close this game out. As you saw right there, taking a smart shot.
Narbe Abrahamian lands awkwardly. Thought he got the foul, but nothing there. And Heligar wanted the continuation, gets the foul beforehand. Injagulian, he understands why there's no continuation, but the Academy USA jerseys don't. And a challenge in play. And Academy USA makes a challenge. So Academy USA will be the team that has put the challenge put forward for the play under review. And what we are understanding from the AABA commissioner, you cannot challenge a shooting call. And for the confusion around the play is that the challenge cannot be made on a shot. So either way, both teams technically get a timeout out of it without really anything. So both teams win out of the circumstances.
Quick rest heading into the final 8 minutes.
Anto Balian here in the corner. Finds Kashishian. Kashishian thinks about it. Looks to pass it. Gets no kick call. Pass straight to the knees. Abrahamian to Coleman. Bogosian points towards Hrazdan, wants to get some kind of offense going with Hrazdan. Balian gets the screen from Injagulian. Bogosian. Injagulian finds Bogosian. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Gonna have to shoot. No good. Rebound Injagulian. Injagulian gets fouled in play. Game's getting chippy, Joe, as we assume. Pretty low scoring game for Hrazdan and Academy both.
I mean, one of your top scorers, Temak Budatian, as you mentioned, is fighting that ankle injury, and you could tell because he hasn't put up a shot here in the second half. You kind of miss seeing it from him, but Hrazdan finding other ways to maintain the lead.
Well, also Academy themselves are missing a couple of players. They're missing Jivalagian, Balian, both guys that can bring at least 7 points apiece. And a bad pass by Injagulian. I'm sure he knows of it. Winfrey gets his ball stolen in tracks. Bogosian gets it. Abrahamian. Great move, great pass to Hrazdan. Can't get it to Coleman in time. And Injagulian takes the foul. And Hrazdan, you know one thing about Hrazdan, Joe, that I really, really value is their communication. At all times, and I mentioned Samson Injagulian being the watchdog for this team, always there on offense, on defense, on the bench, on the other court, at all times. If we put him in another room, we might just hear the vibration of his voice. He's just always talking.
I mean, it doesn't reflect on the stat sheet, Rich, but he's definitely a big factor for this team.
And an easy call.
Like right there, drawing the charge.
An offensive foul called on Jair Winfrey. Samson Injagulian, as you can see on your screen here, he knows. He's a referee himself that is going to be an offensive foul. Good call by the referee catching it. As Winfrey is very slow to get up. He's going to sub out of the game, it seems. After hitting knee to knee, usually the case. The Charlie horse.
Of course, hopefully he's all right. He's one of my favorite players in this league, one of the most explosive players in the league as well.
Yeah, hope he's doing well. Injagulian to Coleman. Abrahamian wants it, has another guy in the corner. Bogosian lets it fly. It's good for Andreas Bogosian. Assist by Narbe Abrahamian. The 10-point deficit. Alex Smith takes it down the lane. He goes up. Basket's no good. Another opportunity for Hrazdan to mitigate the offensive academy. Hrazdan swings it to Abrahamian. To Injagulian. To Coleman. Hrazdan drives. He goes up. And it's a jump ball going the other way, it seems. Possession arrow shows that it's in favor of Hrazdan. 7 seconds on the shot clock. No renewal for Hrazdan. Good screen set by Abrahamian. Unlocks Coleman. Coleman no good. Hellegard grabs the rebound. Balian running on the left. Been a relatively quiet quarter for Anto Balian. Great steal by Abrahamian. He's going to get an easy layup. Misses it. Hrazdan makes the lay instead.
Great defense by Hrazdan, Rich.
And a timeout called by Academy USA, 80-68. We'll be back with more. And we're back at Academy USA. Game has started now. Academy USA versus Hrazdan. Bucket scored by Anto Balian. Samson Injagulian with the ball. Down to Abrahamian. Samson Injagulian, he's going to think about it. A rare three, no good. Hellegard holding his breath while he grabbed that rebound. Guarded heavily by Ebrahimian. Balian lets it fly. It's good for the young bull from Little Armenia.
Quick takeover by Antobalian, scoring the last 5 points.
80-73. 5 points straight right from Antobalian, guarding Andreas Bogosian, the former Crescenta Valley Falcon. Kudatian likes the positioning of this motion offense, and Kudatian scores lethally. And Sako Balian from afar saying lucky shot. While Balian unable to score there, and a push from behind on Apgarian. Great sell by Zarabian. And the crowd showing their voicing of displeasure. Kudatian and Jagulian now. This motion offense has been working for Hrazdan since JT Terrell has been ejected of the game. Kudatian, no shot there. Balian the other way. Has it on the right-hand side. Behind the back. Loses the ball. Back to Apgarian. And one might ask why that was the route that Apgarian tried taking. Nonetheless, Hrazdan ball.
And leading scorer Ron Coleman checking back in for Hrazdan.
And this three-time champion, Hrazdan, showing their championship pedigree. As you can see in the instant replay, Kudatian knocking it down. Kudatian guarded by Kashishian. Kashishian on the ball. Kudatian communicating with his team. He needs to set a screen or something. Zarabian does. Kudatian has Zarabian at the top. 7 seconds for Bogosian to make a decision. Bogosian shoots, and it's good! Andreas Bogosian with the three. We've been talking about it, Joe. Last game, he came big in the fourth quarter. This game, same situation. Alex Smith launches, makes it, gets the friendly bounce here at Academy. Now it's a 9-point lead, Joe. Not over yet, lots of time, especially in modern basketball. Kudatian, guarded by Kashishian. Kudatian to Zarabian. Down to Coleman. 6 seconds on the shot clock, taking their sweet time. Oh, and what a shot, Joe. Oof. Oh, and what a silly mistake by Kashishian. Bogosian grabs the ball, holds it. And Coleman gets a bucket. 4-point turnaround. 13-point lead by Hrazdan. And you can already tell Academy is looking to get a lot quicker out of these possessions.
Rich, those last few turnovers really, I think, really kind of set what's the tone for the game. Kind of put the game on ice.
Costly mistakes. Kudatian needs to keep it simple. He likes to do the no-look passes. Oftentimes it looks great, just like we saw last week. Joe, that no-look pass to Andre Zarabian led to a poster dunk. Zarabian to Ebrahimian. Ebrahimian has on the left-hand side, shoots it, 6 seconds on the shot clock, and smoother than Derry.
I mean, quickly, Rich, it became a 16-point game. 2:30 left here in the fourth.
Ooh.
Do you think Hrazdan has done enough to punch their ticket into the AABA
finals? I'm sorry, Joe. I'll give you an answer soon. But Zarabian sends Antobalian back to Pilibos Middle School. Oof. We'll be back with more after this timeout.
All right, Rich, we're back. And back to my earlier question also. Do Do you think Hrazdan has done enough to punch their ticket to the AABA finals?
Not just yet. I do believe the 16-point lead is still a little fragile for us to really say things are definitive. And, sorry, I'm focusing on this Alex Smith shot. No good. Rebound Afgharian. He's going to have to go up or something. Helliger there. Helliger gets an opportunity. No good. Rebound Coleman. I do believe Hrazdan still has a little bit more in their tank, and this shot might just seal the deal, Joe, for Academy USA. 18-point game. Going to be tough to come back with 2 minutes left. Yeah, I think this one's sealed and done.
You kind of feel for this Academy USA squad, Rich. They've had a great season so far. Championship was definitely the goal of theirs, but Hrazdan coming out with more of the experience here in the finals and here in the semifinals too, right?
Coach Ara Jajayan before the game, Joe, he came up to me and he asked me, he said, hey, are we still number 8 in the rankings? I said, I don't know, buddy.
And still more of a historic run for Hrazdan, probably being the lowest seed coming into the playoffs to make it all the way to the finals, correct?
They are the lowest seeding in the semis, and they will probably be the lowest seed to ever receive a championship arrival. So Hrazdan really has made a name for themselves. You know, they've proven that they can be an undefeated team. They've proven that they can be a team that comes back and wins it all. I mean, anything is possible with this team as long as they're healthy and as long as they're locked and loaded and ready. And by the way, we've mentioned how they've gone this far, but can we also talk about without JT Terrell in the whole second half? It's very tough to do that without even your full roster, let alone without JT Terrell.
Of course, your leading scorer gets ejected, unfortunately, but Ron Coleman, Tevon, Andre Yasjan, and of course, Narber Ibrahimi was stepping it up on offense to make sure that they close out this game, right?
We talked about Ibrahimi coming up big. He is now 17 points on the scoring stat line. Kashishian going against Ibrahimi. Afgharian goes up, no good, missed rebound, gets it himself. 96-80.
I think it's time for us to kind of decide or see who the player of the game is for today.
I might just have to say Andreas Bogosian.
Really?
Mainly due to his second half performance. You can't take it away from Ron Coleman at the same time. 25 points, 11 rebounds. I might just have to say both of them.
Well, great defense by Andreas Jan on Otto Balyan here in the second half. And of course, Andreas Jan coming with his own 4 of 5 shooting from the three-point land. And Ron Coleman with 25 points and 10 rebounds.
We also cannot forget Andre Zarabian, and this has truly been an entire team effort. Andre Zarabian with 7 points, but 15 rebounds is where I'm focusing here, Joe.
I wish player of the game could go to 3 players, Rich, but...
I know. It's a tough one today for Hrazdan to figure out on the player of the game, which is probably the best issue you want to have if you're a team moving on to the finals. In our player of the game today, going to go to 2 gentlemen, Ron Coleman and Andreas Bogosian for his second half performance. And Academy USA, Joe, we talked about it. They've had a great record. Academy USA's had a great record.
But their season comes to a close today, Rich.
All right, folks, we'll be back with the players of the game today, Ron Coleman and Andreas Bogosian. We'll be back soon. I'm here live with our players of the game today. I couldn't choose between a couple of players, so I chose two. So Ron Coleman, I'm going to start off with you. Ron, you came out big, just like you have this entire season, top 5 scorer in the league. You scored 25 and 10 today. JT Terrell was out of the picture. How important was it for you to step up today?
Yeah, I think it was super important knowing what kind of impact he has to keep the team together because, there was a lot going on during the game, but, there's just noise. It's about playing together and just finishing strong, and I think the team did a great job of doing that.
Ron, thank you for that. I'm going to come now to Andreas Bogosian. Andreas, I mentioned in my live last time that you were the X factor the last match, and I said this match, if Bogosian can find himself in double figures, they're probably going to make it far. Andreas, you did exactly that in the second half. What kind of mentality were you bringing to make it happen?
Well, I just saw JT go out, and then I decided, hey, I got to step up. If I don't step up, we're going to have a problem. And we were down when JT went out, and I decided, hey, I gotta put up numbers if we're going to try to win this game. And then Ron played well. He did what he was supposed to do, and we came out with the win.
Andreas, another question for you. You've been a part of this Hrazdan team for now, I believe, 2 seasons at minimum. You've experienced the championship matches from last year. How important was it to go up against this team to get to another final again after this season? Many doubters.
Yeah, it was a tough team we played. They're well coached. Warren's a hell of a player. Anto's a hell of a player. And, well, we want to go to another finals, man. We want to keep winning the shit, and we want to keep going there, keep winning, man.
And, Ron, I'm going to have the last word for you. Ron, next matchup is against AABA. A lot of scoring from Dooley, lots of scoring from Teal. Mirzakhania showed up today as well. What's the game plan moving forward?
I think if we just come out and play like we did today, stay together, play strong, we should win. I remember those guys when we first played them, so I've been looking forward to this matchup.
Ron, thank you so much for your time. Andreas as well. Today's players of the game, Ron Coleman, Andreas Bogosian. Make sure to check us out next week at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. AABA versus the guys in green, the 3-time champions. Make sure to tune in.
Good job, guys. I'm not getting fined for that.